All right, now I want to talk about customer supplied parts because that's a question we run into all the time, right? Customer wants to bring in their own parts, and that's for obvious reasons because customers know we mark up our parts, and we have to do that. So, if anyone's been following me from the very beginning, my big thing was, man, all shops are ripoffs. They're marking up parts. Man, I can get this 50% cheaper somewhere else or online. And for a long time, what I actually did is I didn't mark up parts at all. And let me just tell you this right now, it is impossible. I mean, it is impossible because I tried it because it was one of my core values. Hey, I'm not gonna mark up parts. And I tried it like a year and a half and I was losing money. I almost went bankrupt because even with a small operation, with me just running the shop and just trying to live off the labor, it's not possible. And it'll be really impossible right now if we didn't make any money off of parts. And I'll tell you why. If you call an electrician, a plumber, anyone that pours concrete, anyone that offers services to come out to your house, see what they charge per hour. It's not going to be in the hundreds. Auto repair shops are like 120, 130, 140. I mean, with the inflation going on and the shortage of technicians, a lot of shops are going to the 160, 170 range, depending on what part of the country you're at and what you offer. But you call like a plumber, electrician, they're going to be in the 200s easy. And that's because even though they don't have overhead, they don't have a rent to pay, they probably just have like a service van. They don't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars of tools that they need. Our lifts is going to be more than what they have in all their equipment. Just my costs in maintaining the lifts are more expensive. And then we have the big building to pay for, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, if our labor rate now is $129 an hour, that cannot cover everything. My labor pays for my technician, it pays for my front staff, and my parts margins pays for everything else. Like it pays for the rent, it pays for the advertisement, the workman's comp, the insurance. It just list goes on and on. The utilities. I mean, we probably have about $50,000 a month in expenses. So. That's just being very, very clear cut. But what's the benefit of having a shop supply the part? Well, you won't believe it, but when we do let a customer supply the part, 9 out of 10 times, it ends up being the wrong part. Why? Because customers just don't know. It's either doesn't fix the problem or it's just wrong. It's for a different vehicle, different application. Second, the parts that they bring, it's dud out of the box. So what people don't understand is even when we do this professionally, and even if we use all the big box stores and even dealer parts, we get parts all the time that's bad out of the box. And what they don't know, what customers don't know is when we do get a bad part, those vendors pay us to do it again. And a lot of times the customer will bring their own part, and if it's bad out of the box, they're like, well, let me just get you another one, and then you just install it for free. It doesn't happen like that, and it can't happen like that. A business cannot operate that way. Second, let's say it does work and 6 months down the road and it fails, and it's a part failure. Well, typically when we supply the parts, we do a 2-year, 24,000-mile hassle-free nationwide warranty. So even if you're in California, you're driving out there from North Carolina, and your part fails, well, we'll find a shop for you that can fix it under warranty where you don't have to pay anything because we stand behind our work, not only our work, but our parts. Now, let's say you do that and you're in California from North Carolina and the part that you supplied failed. Well, if it fails, now it's a pointing game. Is it the workmanship or is it the part? And it's going to be an endless battle. We're going to say, hey, it's been installed correctly because if it worked for 6 months, unless we have a really, really bad someone that tore the bolts down and it flew off, you're going to have an issue where it's going to be a he said, she said game. So you got the warranty issue going on. Now, also, when a customer looks for a part, they'll type that part online, and what is a customer going to look for? They're going to look for the absolute cheapest price, because why wouldn't you? If you need a ball joint and if eBay has it for $20 and then the dealer has it for $80, you're going to choose eBay. But what they don't realize is a lot of these parts are being manufactured overseas, like China, and they don't have the quality control procedures. And let's say, for an example, a ball joint separates and fails, well, your whole suspension is going to come flying off. That is not an exaggeration. I mean, your tire will go like this, ball joint flies out, and then your tire's going to be laying flat. save $60, but you know it's going to ruin your whole suspension. And of course, is eBay going to stand behind the car? They're not. Also, that brings up another thing. So let's say a part that we install that a customer supply, and it does fail, and it does cause an accident or catastrophic damage. Now, who's liable? Well, legally, the shop could be held liable for that, even though it wasn't our fault. Is insurance going to cover it? Most likely not, if they know that it was a customer supplied part. So we can get into legal trouble, liability issues. So for all those said reasons, we are not inclined to install customer supplied parts. And of course, a lot of that, and if we did do that, we just wouldn't be in business today. If we did not make any money on our parts, and just calculating the gross profit per hour that we needed, we're probably gonna have to be in like the $250 an hour range to stay in business and still be profitable. This also brings to another point. If you're dead set on buying your parts online, going on Amazon or whatever, finding the cheapest part, or not even the cheapest part, you're looking for the brand and just try to save a couple bucks, there's a big problem with counterfeits online. The boxes look the same, everything looks the same, but you're gonna be able to tell if you look really close at a part, it's gonna be a knockoff. So now we're getting these dealership OEM parts that look like knockoffs because they're not getting it from the right vendor. Amazon is not gonna know, and it's gonna be very hard to prove. And there's YouTube videos out there with customers that are running into the same thing. Hey, I bought these. I had a personal experience because for the same reason, even though I own a shop, I had a Corvette Z06 and I needed ignition coils. And actually the wires. So the spark plug wires were AC Delco, and that's the OEM brand, and it was much cheaper online. It was like $40 less expensive. I was like, well, okay, let me go on Amazon, let me just buy these. Lo and behold, because my Corvette had original parts on it, I took it off and compared it before putting it on, and the AC Delcos I got from Amazon were knockoffs. So please be aware of that. I've used cheap eBay suspension parts when I first started this business and put them on my own Volkswagen. They lasted 2 months and then they had play-in suspension. We would get new parts from big box vendors. And ever since COVID, I mean, it's like 1 out of 4 fail or just not lasting as long. So even if you're getting it and walking into Advanced Auto Parts, Napa, O'Reilly's, it doesn't matter where you get it from. I mean, we're still seeing failure out of the box. And if it fails, you can go to Advanced and try to say, hey, you know what, the alternator I bought from you, I had a shop put on, and it was the ASC certified shop, and they said it was a bad alternator from the box. I need you to pay me my labor that I pay. They're not going to do it. They're probably going to laugh at you because it's just not how it works. But, if we install it and if it fails from the box, we'll just call Advanced Auto Parts, we'll put in a warranty claim, and they will pay us labor to do it over again. So this is going to be like a hot topic. A lot of people are saying like, man, shops are ripoffs. Why are they charging me so much money to install this part? It's a big liability. It's insurance issues. We're fighting fraud. I mean, we're thinking in the back of our minds that we're going to have to cover this again. And we're standing behind it. I mean, there's so many reasons why not to install or not to bring your own parts. So those are some of the issues. If you have any questions, just give us a call or post a comment below.